Right here in Chicago, tax refunds are being stolen. Nationally, it adds up to $5.8 billion paid out last year in fraudulent tax refunds to apparent identity thieves.
So what's being done to catch it before the money is doled out? Investigator Pam Zeckman is here with what needs to be done. Pam.
Kate and Rob, a lot needs to be done, and no one knows that better than the growing number of honest taxpayers who found their returns rejected because someone else had already filed a return using their Social Security numbers.
I was angry.
Angry after his tax return was rejected by the IRS because of duplicate conditions.
Those duplicate conditions were that not one, not two, but all three of my daughter's identities had been stolen, and they had been claimed as a dependent by others.
To get his refund, Brynsma had to file an identity theft affidavit. You have to prove that you are the real taxpayer.
Correct.
And that your children are your children.
Correct. Whoever this person or persons were, they filed ahead of us. So it's literally a first come, first serve thing, apparently. Anybody can claim anybody.
The IRS says that in the last 4 years, it's implemented procedures that have caught 19 million suspicious tax returns and stopped scammers from collecting $68 billion in refunds.
We have actually over 3,000 people that are dedicated just for ID theft.
Using computer filters to catch anomalies before fraudulent refunds are paid. For example, the IRS sent an inquiry to Thomas Mueller, a joint filer for 32 years with his wife, about a tax return he had not filed with a woman he did not know. When you read that,
I started shaking.
So who's behind these refund thefts?
Everything from international criminal gangs to street gangs in American cities, to just individual hackers.
It probably starts with a data breach where fraudsters get your Social Security number. Some are so brazen they give out advice in chat rooms.
File as many applications as you can. You should have an average refund. Stay to about $2,500, $3,000 per refund. Nobody will come looking for you. So for every effort that the IRS does to block the bogus refunds, the bad guys have figured it out.
And the IRS can't keep up. Tom Mueller called the IRS 800 number 20 times a day for more information.
You have reached the IRS Taxpayer Protection Hotline.
To this date, I've never spoken to anybody from the IRS.
The IRS admits its overloaded phone system hung up on 8 million taxpayers this year. Only 40% got through.
There's no follow-through. They just leave you hanging. And I expect more from our federal government than that.
The IRS commissioner blames $346 million in budget cuts for the lapses. That includes $200 million needed for advanced computer systems that could add new protections against refund identity theft. Those thefts that cost $5.8 billion last year. But Rob and Kate, that's going to take an act of Congress.
So what's the honest taxpayer to do? How are they going to get their refund?
They will get them eventually. The IRS has to go through a series of steps that could take 6 months to a year, but they will finally get them.
Mr. Munoz said 3,000 people are dedicated to spotting fraud. What did he say about the fact that only 40% of the people get through? I know he was talking about budget cuts, but that's a very low number for people that need customer service.
That's right, and it's something that will require extra staffing, along with all of those new computers to replace the outdated ones they're working with.
All right, thank you, Pam.